once I started to get a little bit known, those those people that I mentioned and along with a few others was putting me out there to, hey Marshall, maybe you should give this guy a shot. Fighting. He's pretty good. He's not cheesy. He tried to play legit, you know. He basically us saying he wants to go against Jones, or we can do Augustus and Mirror. That's exactly what we did. Our very first fight me and Marshall did was Augustus and Mirror, and he beat me. But I impressed him so much that, he subbed to me. We messaged each other back and forth, and we grew a big friendship. We grew basically a brotherhood. I may not know that man personally, but we text and talk each day. And man, like that dude, everything he's done for the UFC community, Marshall, I don't want to blow smoke up his butt or anything, but he's really the biggest influencer in our community. Like, I don't think any of us would be where we at if it wasn't for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GameKheyl. I'm Naveed, aka Barely Average Gaming, and today we have ourselves a true OG of the UFC community. We have ourselves HeemTheDream. Sir, how are we doing today?
I'm doing fine. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to you, Mr. GameKheyl. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their holidays and having a safe new year.
And
2022 with a bang.
And Merry Christmas to everyone who is watching. We're doing this on the day off, and for everyone celebrating, have a great time, have some amazing gifts. If you don't have a copy of UFC 4, you better pray there's one in the gifts.
It's free. If you have an Xbox, it's free on the Game Pass, so get up on that.
Yeah. And more on our guest today. I mean, I've had the privilege of speaking with some of the best gamers from the UFC community, some of the best streamers, some of the biggest names. And there's this one name that has stuck around, especially I remember explicitly while interviewing Romero. That was a big shout out. And again, our guest here today is someone that everyone respects. If you don't respect him, you're an idiot. I can say that explicitly. So, Heem, we're just going to start off, and we're going to get right into the thick of things. Again, for you to be able to create that kind of mystique about yourself, to be able to have that kind of rapport with the community, again, there must be some sort of interest that you may have in gaming or with mixed martial arts. So, can you just guide us through the journey of how you got into combat esports and combat gaming?
Okay. Well, with the game specifically, I'll say about around UFC 1. I had a good friend of mine that wanted me to purchase the game, get into playing UFC, get into UFC in general. And I was real skeptical about it. I was a casual noob. Like, I don't know nothing about these, kicks and wrestling and grabs and holds. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know if I'm going to get into it. But my best friend, he really, dug into it and, got me into it. I said, just try it out. See how you don't like it, then you don't like it. All right, cool. So I purchased UFC 1. We did a couple of spars. These motherfuckers beating my ass left and right. I said, I don't like this, man. I'm not kidding, man. Whatever. But as the sport, I was always like a casual fan of the sport. Like, I know who some of the OGs of the UFC were, like Chuck Liddell, Tito, Anderson. I know the big names, and I was, interested in the big names, watching them dominate when they was in their prime. And when I really got into playing the games, like the UFC games, was in UFC 2. Again, the same friend of mine asked me to purchase it, and then he introduced me to watching Martial Mind. I remember this day vividly. We went out to grab something to eat, some Chick-fil-A, and he was like, look, I see, you really getting into it. Maybe you should check out this guy named Martial Mind. He's pretty good, pretty solid. Check him out. So back in UFC 2, when Marshall was doing his feature fighter series, I don't know if you know about that. He used to do that heavy, pumping out 2-hour videos of feature fighters. That's when it was really popping. If the feature fighters in the game really meant something, you really wanted to pick the lower tier fighters to rank up and, do work. So as I'm watching him, I'm saying, man, guy's pretty good. Marshall's pretty good. So I started studying him and how he played, how he approached the game. And I started to add it to how I played. And I remember I wrote I wrote Marshall. I wrote Marshall a letter. I was like, listen, I know you probably get these a lot, but I would really like for me to you to get a couple of spars in to show you really gave me a lasting interest of getting better at the game, and I would really love to test myself against you. Like I said, I know he gets 1,000, a million of those messages every single day by everybody. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. Like he probably just gonna be like, yeah, whatever, whatever, just passing on by. But as I started to grow streaming, because I used to stream daily, 8 hours a day, almost coming home, doing overnights, come home 7 in the morning, stream for like 8 hours until 3 p.m., go to sleep, wake back for work, rinse and repeat. And listen, the OG like Ed Parker, Romero. I don't think I know Romero back at UFC still. I met Romero on UFC 3, so kind of went ahead. Romero, not Romero, Ed Parker, Retro Rocky, Crooks. Met Crooks back at UFC 2. Crooks. I'm drawing a blank here. I'm sorry. Unibot, and Bathing Ash. I don't know if you heard about him.
Yeah.
But those guys that I just mentioned, they were like the main like supporters back in my UFC 2 days when I was just streaming constantly, just using nothing but Alexander Gustafsson. Alexander Gustafsson is my favorite fighter. Is my favorite UFC fighter. Him along with Damian Maia. And I'd use Gustafsson nonstop for hours and hours of the day. And once I started to get a little bit known, those people that I mentioned, and along with a few others, was putting me out there to, hey, Marshall, maybe you should give this guy a shot. Fighting, he's pretty good. He's not cheesy. He tried to play legit. He picks Gustafsson. He wants to go against Jones, or we can do a Gustafsson mirror. That's exactly what we did. Our very first fight me and Marshall did was a Gustafsson mirror, and he beat me. But I impressed him so much that, he subbed to me. We messaged each other back and forth, and we grew a big friendship. We grew basically a brotherhood. I may not know that man personally, but we text and talk each day. And man, like that dude, everything he's done for the UFC community, Marshall, I don't want to blow smoke up his butt or anything, but he's really the biggest influencer in our community. Like, I don't think any of us would be where we at if it wasn't for him. And that's no disrespect to anybody else that's behind him or even ahead of him. Like the MMA Games, Prioxis, and everybody else. I got mad love for those dudes too, but we would not be where we at right now with this game. All the games we played in the UFC community, if it wasn't for Marshall. So I want to give a big shout out to him.
Yeah.
He has really helped me. He's really helped me at the beginning when I was consistent. He's really helped me a lot. So.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about someone like Marshall Mine, he is in a league of his own when it comes to the kind of influence he has been able to deliver to the community. So mad respect to him for that. Also for all the creators out there. I mean, perhaps you are the reason why a lot of people are into this game, because again, the game has its own, for lack of a better term, in fact, there is no term for that. I mean, the game itself, it's contentious. There are a lot of opinions that are floating around. Our guest here today would have something to say on that as well. But we have another question for him here at this point in time. And, there's something interesting that you talk about yourself and Marshall Mind, and that is brotherhood. And that is something that is seen in this community in abundance. But simultaneously, when you talk about the UFC community, the gaming community, there is toxicity. There is something that brews. And in fact, in our last interview with Balian, he mentioned that it kind of, it kind of flows from how the actual community of combat is. That is a casual fan or a expert fan. There is toxicity that brews through a person who is a combat fan. So maybe that kind of transfers to combat esports. But simultaneously, you have amazing friendships. You have amazing individuals in this community who go above and beyond to help each other. So how do you view the entire community as a whole? Do you think there is more optimism that a person should have when it comes to this community, or you think there needs to be some sort of intervention?
How I feel about the community on that? I feel the community can come together as a whole to like better to help better better us, better the game, better
Mm.
just better everything, you know. Like, but you are like you said earlier, you are going to have some of those that don't want that or just want to be very toxic against one another for no
Mm.
reason or for whatever they believe in or whatever. They
Yeah.
want to just forever be like that. You know, that's not me personally. You know, anybody that I try to interact with, I want to build a friendship. I want to build that bond and help each other out. How can we help each other grow? How can we help this community grow? You know, I know I'm not that big of an influencer, but I'm always down to always try to get my input and, you know, spread that positivity amongst each other, amongst the gaming community, our gaming community.
Yeah.
So
There's another contentious point that we just shared, and that's the game itself. I mean, when UFC 3 came out, it had a lot of bugs, it had a lot of issues. They ended up fixing most of them, but when UFC 4 came out, it was another Pandora's box. There were a lot of things that had to be fixed, there were a lot of patches, but still, the sentiment is that unless UFC 5 doesn't do the job, it's probably going to create a vacuum for games like ESBC or any other games to take that Combat
yeah,
Esports fan base out. So, what are your views when it comes to UFC 4, and also after that, your thoughts on ESBC?
my views on it. I say it's like a Pandora's box being open. It's like we was learning basically a brand new game, but mainly with I say with the grappling, you know, with the ground game, the grappling. They basically just almost erase everything and try to add something new to try to, you know, I guess better it. But what it did was it kind of like simplified the game to like 1, 2, 3 ABC, like for the casual fan,
Mm.
you know, like back in UFC 3. Yes, the ground system or whatever it's tedious and very
Mm.
bland and boring. But you have more options. You have more
Yeah.
options of what
True.
you can do. You have more options of what you can do
Mm.
in the previous game. And
Mm.
then here it's simplified and it's like it's just watered down to
Mm.
me. And I feel as though that in that aspect,
Mm.
you could have left a lot of things alone. You know, you could have left a lot of things alone in that regard, especially with the new submission mini game they try to implement. You know,
Yeah.
because a lot of people in the community was complaining about the submissions back in UFC 3, which I personally didn't have a problem with.
Yeah.
You know, like certain fighters didn't have access to like the strong submissions like everybody has access to in UFC 4.
Mm.
You know, you can pick somebody like mm, I'll say you can pick somebody like a Conor McGregor who is known. Okay, he is a fabulous. We already know on the feet, great striker, great boxer, kickboxer, whatever. But you can make him into a damn 6 degree black belt jiu-jitsu
That's true.
on UFC 4.
Yeah.
You could slap on a head choke. You could slap on a head choke, a rear naked choke,
Mm.
or whatever, guillotine, and get it with ease with Conor
Mm.
McGregor, which that should not be possible.
True that.
You know, it should not be possible at all. You know, stats on the game really
Mm.
it don't play a big factor how it did in previous games, my
Mm.
opinion. You know,
That's true.
so I feel as though in the regarding like in the grappling part, I can appreciate that they tried to do something different,
Mm.
but there's a lot of things that we had in the previous games that they should have just left alone. You
Mm.
know, and it would have been good. I mean, still would have been bland and boring, but it would have been good. It would have been tolerable where we were like, okay, we don't mind going to the ground. We don't mind doing certain things
Mm.
with the grappling or whatever, because you're not on four, you don't have access to a lot of things that we had in the previous game. You
Mm.
know, like clinching or whatnot. You can't double under. You can't tumble. You can't do a lot of things. You know,
Mm.
and I
Mm.
complained about that. And myself, I complained about that on my regard to a couple people. like a Mero, that he's a game changer. Maybe he could feed the ideas to the developers. Says, hey, while the game is still alive, you add certain things back when we had a UFC 3.
Agreed.
Sending him clips or whatever. Like, yo, this should be in the game. That should be a game. See if they can implement this. See if they can implement that. And hopefully, they're doing that. If they're developing UFC 5 now, EA developing UFC 5 now, they could take some of the ideas. Because I'm pretty sure the Game Changers is probably already hitting the devs or anything with ideas on what they should add and what should be in this next game. Because rest assured, it's like you brought up ESBC, and then now EA wants to bring back Fight Night.
Yeah.
But more so ESBC. With ESBC coming out, that's a direct competitor to EA.
True.
So hopefully that gives them a shot, a shot in the butt and say, hey, all right, maybe we need to get this together. Maybe we need to open our ears more and listen to the community, listen to the outcry of what the community is trying to present us. So hopefully we do. Hopefully we do get a better product. Hopefully we do get a better overall product in whenever UFC 5 drops. Hopefully ESPC gives them that motivation to do better.
I really hope so, because again, we'll probably have another 7 to 8 years of UFC EA games, at least considering the fact that there is a 10-year contract. On that subject, you talked about ESBC giving the motivation. Are you excited about the game itself? Because we've seen a lot of flashes of brilliance, so to say, when it comes to the game itself. We've seen a lot of gameplay trailers. There hasn't been a beta out. The game isn't out yet. What are your thoughts? Are you skeptical, or you think the game's going to deliver?
Very, very skeptical. Skeptical is an understatement. I'm very, very skeptical and optimistic. Yes, the visuals, the aesthetics looks A1. Amazing. Amazing. But we need gameplay. We need more gameplay. We need beta testing. We need a beta out so we can test this game, so we can find out what's going to be wrong, what needs to be fixed. So all the graphics and everything, yes, it's fine. It's amazing. But my main thing, and I guarantee 100% can agree with me, we need gameplay. We need gameplay. We need beta. By me, I haven't heard anything lately about any beta dropping or when it's going to be up. Do you have any idea, or like when the release date could be for the game? Or they haven't said anything about that, right?
Nothing out there.
Nothing. Okay. See, and that's another thing. Maybe they're taking their time with this. Maybe they really, really are like dead set on trying to push out a good product. They don't want to rush anything, which I can respect that. I can respect that. So us as a community, we need to be patient, because I know there's a lot of people out there like, man, UFC 4 been out 2 years now. We need this boxing game now. Let them take their time. Let ESPC take their time and work out everything they need to work out before they push out this product, before they even push out a beta for us to test, because the longer we wait, meaning that they're working on it and they push it out, we can like it on day one. It may be a perfect day one launch, Not saying it is going to happen, but it could happen. That could happen.
True.
So everything, we all got to be patient on that part.
True. And I think what you've alluded to, and another thing that a lot of our guests here at GameKheyl have also agreed, is that perhaps we need to be a little more patient. And patient in a sense that when you talk about a game that wasn't supposed to be as big as it has become, because it was a small development team working on something, and now all of a sudden they received very good investment. They ended up having a lot of boxers on board. Now some really good names have dropped in, like your Canelos, you have your OG boxers, you have everyone pretty much. So I think you can respect that they're at least trying to give you a full roster, but simultaneously they need to understand that when you receive that kind of input from the community, that is only going to help you cater better to them. So it's good that they're working on it, but I think a second opinion on the product may may just do them a little bit more of a favor. So hopefully the beta is out soon. We have been impatient. We've also done a video on our comments that we received over from our guest on ESBC. So you can check out that video as well. Speaking of community being patient, I mean, there are a lot of leagues out there. I mean, you have your ESFLs, you have your Cage Rich, now you have your Prime Times. Guys from France, they're also running a league. So there's a lot of leagues popping up recently. And considering the fact that the names you've mentioned, the names you've been around, also have been some legit competitors in some of these biggest leagues. So what are your thoughts on the online leagues, considering the fact that there was one, now there's a lot more? Do you think it helps the community itself, or do you think this is just going to be a flash in the pan that's going to peter out eventually?
No, I think it helps. It helps a lot. It really does, especially ESFL. That's our UFC of the esports community. That's the big time. With ESFL coming along since the beginning of UFC 3 and how far they've come. See, I don't know any about the other promotions, the other leagues that's out there right now, but ESFL, how far they've come to help and to try to build and promote the game and stuff, and then build and promote the players that participate in the leagues, in the tournaments, and whatever cards they have. It's been a big help. It's been a big help to try to get the community out there, to get it, to build a name for the community. You feel me? So I haven't participated in a while, due to scheduling conflict, me working every weekend. So, but that's over now, and I actually had a vested interest of trying to get back into ESFL. So I might have to make a few phone calls, see if they'll bring me back on board. But yeah, I have an itch to scratch with that, and I'm seriously considering trying to make a return to ESFL.
Well, Hunter or Balian, if you're watching this, you know who to contact. This man's right here. So, yeah, sorry?
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
All right. No, I'm just saying, considering the fact that you're someone that is so well respected in the community, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a good contact there. Speaking of contact, I'm sure, considering the time you've spent in this community, there must be some great rivals. There must be some individuals who would pick your brain apart when it comes to how to beat them. So any individuals you would say your favorite dance partners when it comes to this game, or some of the individuals that you would want to beat, but you can't?
Can't beat. First and foremost, first person that comes into mind is Romero. That brother right there, again, he's something special. He is something special because when we first started locking horns, I was beating his ass from pillar to post. Excuse my language. But as the days went and he started to really take it seriously, boy, that I call him the guru. I call him the guru of UFC 4 because the stuff that he put out, the tutorials, what he knows, what we try to do to pick his brain on how to get better, it's second to none. Seriously, it's second to none. Like, the man goes to college full time. He wrestles full time. He'll take a 1 or 2 month break, come back. It don't miss a beat. It don't miss a beat at all. Lately I've been watching him. He's been streaming lately, and he's been sparring with some of his campmates, like Zayat, Swiss Libacks, for United, them boys. And that brother doesn't miss a beat at all. Like, those are some of the funnest. I know funnest is not a word, but those are some of the best fights, best spars when I tune in that I've just enjoyed. Them brothers put each other to the test, and Romero is, like I said, he's like, when he's on point, when he's like locked in and really focused, I don't want to say it because I know I'm probably gonna hurt a couple people's feelings. I probably will get attacked on my Twitter, but I think legitly when he's on his game, he's the best. He's the best. And then that's not discrediting it. That's not discrediting anybody else, you know. But he's number one that comes into my mind because whenever I do spar him, and I got to get back on PlayStation because I don't have a PlayStation right now. I'm strictly Xbox. But when I get back, he's gonna be one of the first people that I'm gonna hit up, and I'm sure he's gonna bring me in the dojo and beat my ass a few times. So we're gonna definitely get in there. So Mero, Swiss Slidebacks, brought him up. Swiss Slidebacks, that's the boogeyman right there. That's the boogeyman. Like I used to hate his guts when I first met him. He is such a troll. Like, call him no stand Swiss because he lets it all hang out. He lets it all hang out when he's in that octagon. When he's in that virtual octagon, he don't give no F's at all. And most of the time, he comes out the victor. You know, he'll come in there. He's ready to scrap. He's ready to scrap. When I first played him, I underestimated him because he was playing like a spaz. He was playing like, I'm going to just throw 10-hit Tekken Mortal Kombat combos and I'm going to get you out of there within the first 30 seconds. I'm like, okay, all I got to do is take my time, take him apart. He going to wither and fold. No, that's not it. He will destroy you. You make one mistake, it's over for you. It is over for you. And I got a lot of love and respect for him now for that as I've gotten to know him. And Ed Parker, again, he's an OG. He's one of the first people I met. Talking about technical and, you know, picking shots, and that's Connor hands down doing that. I always want to fight his Connor when I spar him, whenever I spar him. Always want to fight his Connor. I don't want nothing else. Don't give me nobody else. I want that Connor because that's the only person that you can use that could get me better. So much love to Ed Parker. Much love to all them people in the dark camp like Zayaf, Pretty. Much love to all them boys. Prioxis. Me and Prioxis go back and forth. He recently just knocked my guts out. So he got one ass whooping coming. Excuse my language. And I'm gonna be bothering him on that. I'm telling you, like, you know, he already made me into a video. He already posted me knocking me out. So I gotta get him back for that. But nah, much love to the Pride, man. That's another one that where he came from since the beginning stages of UFC, because I know him from UFC too, but I've really gotten to know him on a personal level in 3 and 4. Man, that brother, watching that brother grow from 2,000 subscribers, that's when I subscribed to him, up until where he's at now, almost to 60, he's at 52K, and he's working on to getting to 60K, which no doubt in my mind, he's going to hit that.
Yeah.
And that brother's journey is something special. Seriously. You know, I know he gets a lot of flack and hate sometimes from people, but there's no you can't hate on a man's grind. You can't hate on a man's hustle on where he came from to get to where he's at now, where he can sit at home and make his money, sit at home and provide for his family, sit at home and provide for himself, and still give back to the community, and still am willing to give back to the community, to all the haters, to all his doubters, everybody, the people that support him. And that's why I got a lot of love for Fry. So again, I'm still gonna come after you, Fry. That's still one of his rematch against that B group. I don't care if I'm saying all these good things about you. You still owe the ass whooping.
Well, a lot of names that you've mentioned have been a guest on GameKheyl, and honestly, these are the guys who've basically carried the flag for the community and is essentially who we would want to put in the front as the poster boys of this community, because for what they represent and what they've been able to do for all of us has worth its weight in gold. So again, thank you for all the names that you've mentioned. And there's this one thing that you also talked about, and that is the dark camp. So when you talk about this community, we don't say we have teams, we have camps, like the actual UFC camps. So we have a lot of camps out there who are doing good. There's some that pop up and then go and then just disappear. So what do you think about the camp culture? Do you think it helps when it comes to growing your skill set, or maybe it's just something that that's just someone joins in to look cool. I mean, there's a lot of examples of that. Considering there are a few camps that I wouldn't name, mainstream camps that have their roster changed every few months. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts on it is if you're a competitor that want to join the camp to further, further your career, try to get better, see if you can pick the brain on your other clan mates or teammates or whatever, go ahead. I got nothing wrong. I got no problem with that because I was there at one point. What you just said to look cool. I was like that. I was like that when I joined T4H. If you didn't know, I was part of T4H back in UFC still with Buck Flair and them boys. And how did I get into that? Oh yeah, Crooks. Me and Crooks was part of that camp. He was part of that camp, and I did grow some good relationships with them, but there's some that kind of fell off. Not gonna lie, but still, I got nothing love for them boys, and I was really dedicated when I joined. I wanted to make them look good. I didn't want to disappoint them when I went out there and performed. Like I really took that to the heart. Like I really wanted to make my camp mates proud of me when I go out there and try to perform on the big stage, or when I stream, or when I'm set up to fight like an EK member or whoever else, And it just like later on, as everything started to wear on, I wanted to venture off and just do everything on my own. Still hold the friendships, but I just didn't want to have that title of me being part of a clan, because I'm not going to lie, the toxicity and then the other negativity that comes along with it did get to me. Me personally, I want to be friendly and cool with everybody. I don't want to create no beefs because I'm part of this clan or I'm part of this team or I'm part of this thing, whatever, like guilty by association.
Yeah.
So I want to be cordial and nice to everybody. Respectful to everybody. Everybody deserves everybody. I mean, I know you, but everybody deserves respect until shown otherwise. So that's why, I decided to leave T4H. Like I said, nothing against those boys. I still got a lot of love for them. I know some of them, our relationships is wearing and is done. But all in all, I wish nothing but them boys the best. I wish nothing but everybody that's associated with any clan, any team, the best. Push each other, do what y'all got to do to make each other better, and go out there and keep kicking ass the way y'all can.
Well, there's this one thing that you touched on, and that was that you used to stream pretty aggressively, like 8 to 10 hours a day, and that is wild. I mean, that's some dedication, that's some grind. And now, come to think of it, it's probably not as frequent. Is there a reason that you would like to share with our viewers at GameKheyl?
I guess my love for it died down, GameKheyl. My love for the game, it really died down especially with this one, like how simplified and everything has been, and it's easy to kind of break some of the mechanics in the game. Even though I know the names we mentioned earlier, like Mero is trying to pull out stuff and pump out videos to show this is what you can do to keep the game fresh. But all in all, it just my passion for it came cool. It died down because of all the funny business that go on in that game. I'm a person that has low patience. I'm a high energy guy. I get mad a lot. It's something I've been trying to work on. I don't know if you caught any of my recent streams lately. I back to raging and God damn it, no shit. Use my legs fuck this game. But I know a lot of people. Yes, see, you're amused by that. I know a lot of people are amused and they think it's funny. It's it's entertainment to them. They want me to keep doing that because it's me. It's myself. I'm bringing out myself. This is me. I'm not faking a funk. I'm not being fake or anything. It's organic. So it's just something personal. Like, I don't like doing that because I'm making a fool out of myself, just complaining every 5 seconds for something doesn't go my way. But a lot of people said, nah, keep doing it. It's funny, like it's entertaining. That's you. That's your shtick. Keep at it. You're gonna grow because of it. People the audience likes seeing some creators rage at times or whatever. But if you rage all the time and that's you, then we love to see it. It brings joy to our day. It gives us a good laugh. But me, I just don't want to be embarrassing myself every time. Like, God, like, what the fuck? Like, what is up with this game? I can't deny nothing. That's my favorite thing I like to say. Oh, can't deny nothing. Can't deny transition. What the F?
Yeah. I mean, that's one funny thing that you mentioned, because I remember I was at work listening to one of your streams and the volume was on, and then you raged. And then I realized it's not safe for work. So I plugged in my headphones. I could.
Like, whoa, what the heck?
I was like, okay, it's going fine. Okay. You were very cordial, and all of a sudden, like, no. Yeah.
just turn this switch, the on switch.
Yeah.
Like 0 to 100.
This is another interesting thing you mentioned. I mean, it makes for a spectacle. It sounds very fun to have someone having a genuine emotion coming out of them on stream. But another thing that has to be realized is the fact that it takes a lot of energy. I mean, it's mentally and emotionally exhausting at times when you're in that zone. And once you're out of that, you just feel drained. And I think that's perhaps one of the reasons why a lot of people fall out of love from streaming, because it's just so taxing on the person themselves.
Yeah. I'm listening, GameKheyl. You are absolutely positively correct on that. Listen, back when I was streaming, I started when I was in my mid-20s. I was 25. I'm 31 now. And every time I stream now, I stream for like 2 seconds. I feel like, God damn, I'm ready to get off now. Like, whew, I get through one fight, GameKheyl. I'm like, oh, man. I don't know if I could continue on for much longer, but I keep pushing. Now recently I'm streaming. Now I'm pushing myself now because a lot of people in the community miss me, and I feel that. And that really means a lot to me that I could take this break. I could be away, and there's people that hit me up and, hey, are you coming back? Are you coming back? We miss you. So that does say a lot. That means a lot to me. Because I really didn't think that I would have that type of effect on people. I'm just little old Heem. I'm not these other guys. I'm not these other guys out here that's pumping out content exponentially every day. I'm just little old Heem. I stream once or twice a day. And for me to have that type of effect on people that want to keep seeing me play and grind, it really means a lot. And I'm really trying to get that strength now. Get that strength now to constantly do it again. Get back to where I was. I have, since I said that, I have this one guy, this one subscriber. His name is Daniel. Daniel Mitchell. He will text me a few times a day, say, hey, you going to stream today? It will really mean a lot to me if you stream, because I'm having excuse my language, a shitty day at work, or I'm having a shitty day in general, and I just need to hear you rage one time. I just to bring my spirits up. And again, how emotional and how taxing that the game can be. I tell him, listen, I'm gonna stream something else because I really don't want to go through that. He said it will really mean a lot to me though, please. So he's one of the main players why I'm gonna start getting back into streaming, because he's been a loyal sub since the beginning. Again, since my beginning phases when I was streaming. And to know that I have an effect on him, to know that I have a positive effect on him really means a lot. And I'm going to really get back on my grind. And he's a main reason why. If I can influence somebody like that in a positive way, to know that, hey, if I just play a game, if I just play this game, his day is much better. If he hears me say 1,000 swear words, his day is much better. If he see me lose and get knocked out, flash KO, it makes his day much better. So I'm gonna really get the energy, get the motivation to make that comeback GameKheyl, to make those 6, 7, 8 hour streams. I mean, I recently just started the other day. I got a good 3 hours streaming got a good 3 hours streaming. So I'm working on it. I'm really working on it to get that motivation back.
You know, this is something that resonates with me a lot personally because when you talk about your content or what you do having an impact, and that's essentially what we're trying to do here at GameKheyl. I mean, we've had guests from not just the UFC community, but I'm not sure if you've seen the other interviews that we've done here, but we've been trying to get a lot of coverage for the Tekken community in Pakistan, or basically the fight game community. So there are games like Tekken, you have
Right.
King of Fighters, and in Pakistan, all of a sudden there is this new up and coming community that's kicking everyone's ass. They're just destroying players from all over the world. And I've had the pleasure of having some of the guests here at GameKheyl and having their interviews. And the kind of responses that you get after those interviews are the reason why I would want to continue doing this, even though there is essentially no financial incentive at this point in time. Again, if there's anyone wants to help us with that, our Patreon link will be in the description. Anyways, but essentially there is no financial incentive of doing what we're trying to do here right now. However, the impact itself is the reward. I mean, you see in the comment section, you see people contacting us here at GameKheyl, wanting us to continue putting on content, continue the grind, because at the end of the day, they're learning about new cultures, they're learning about the struggles and the grinds of individuals like themselves who have done pretty well for themselves. So with Prioxis interview, there were a lot of very good responses. Even I remember, in fact, there was one of the guys from the UFC community. He told me that he watched the interview that I've done with a Pakistani Tekken player. He put on the subtitles,
Right.
and he was astonished to hear his story. So, I mean, if even one person watches and gets some kind of inspiration from the content that we've put out, I mean, that is enough fuel for me as a person, or us as an entity, as GameKheyl, to continue doing on what we do. So again, for everyone who is a supporter, much shout out to all of you. I mean, your investment is more valuable than anything else. You're investing your time into what we do. And time is that one asset that cannot be regained. You can regain money, you can regain your stature. Time is intangible. And if you're giving that to us, that's a privilege. And we take it as such, and we appreciate all of that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I just to go kind of off base real quick. Yesterday I went to a Christmas party. You know, my brother came to pick me up, and I was telling him, like, I don't regret a lot of things that I've done in my life, you know, but I do wish I can go back in time and correct some of the mistakes I've made, you know, because I'm not in a place right now where I say, hey, I'm living a good life, but I'm breathing. So I am still kind of living a good life, but I wish I could go back in time and correct some of the things I've done in my past that you know, I'm not proud of doing, you know, because that time was wasted. The time was wasted. The time is very precious and valuable. Time is very precious and valuable. We only got one life to live. We only have one life to live, you know. And I was just, you know, just sitting back and just thinking about that, like, you know. But again, I'm still relatively young. We all still relatively young right now, so it's not too late. It's not too late to make a change. It's not too late to, you know, keep grinding, keep pushing, keep doing what you got to do to make sure everything gonna be good, everything gonna be great, everything gonna be gravy, you know. So like what you said about your channel, you said about your channel, I'm sorry to cut you off. What you said about your channel, you know, real reason why, like, I was really like adamant and wanting to get interviewed by you because of the content you was pushing out. Yeah, this channel may not be known, but the way how you conducted yourself, the way how you conducted these interviews with everybody that you interviewed was very captivating. You know, learning about a lot of these guys, past, present, and what they want to do in the future, you know, was really, 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 like I said, it was really captivating to me, and it got me to like interest. Like, yo, I want this guy to talk to me, you know, because he should be blown up right now, you know, to try to like get us all out here. Let's be using his platform, get us all out here, get us known, you know. Like, I need him to talk to me. I need him to talk to me so I can get my story out here, you know.
Yeah.
Get everybody and get everybody investigate, get everybody to know the real HeemTheDream, the real Raheem.
Agreed. And these kind of conversations really help because for a lot of content creators that we have had on GameKheyl, there has been struggles not only when it comes to the creation of content itself, but also in the lives of all of them. So with Prioxis, he was homeless at one point. We've had Crooks with his own troubles. We've had amazing inspirational stories within Pakistan as well. We've had individuals who were kicked out of their houses for playing video games. I mean, there is just so many captivating stories out there. And here at GameKheyl, what we're trying to do to the best of our abilities is to give you all a platform to share your content with us, share your stories with us. And again, someone like yourself, like you mentioned, may not have the best of things to address in the past. But again, it's not about how you start the race, it's about how you finish it. And if you're doing yourself right, if you're doing right by yourself and by the people around you, and you're having a positive influence, I think that's a good benchmark. And what we can all pray for everyone who has the ability to influence someone, more power to you. And again, for everyone who has that ability, we would only wish you well. GameKheyl is a platform that is available to all of you. If you want to put your name out there, I am always available. I'm chasing a lot of individuals out there. You know who you are. Get in touch with us. We'll do our best to put our content out there. I mean, I understand there are individuals who are probably doing this at a better scale with a better setting. We are still not really in a great shape when it comes to production itself. We've had a bit of help. Thank you, Silver Fox, for that. One of the great Pakistani esports casters out there. So a huge shout out to him. But we are still in the process of developing the way we are. We have done incremental changes, and hopefully that's what we're going to continue doing. And again, I think that's a model that we've picked up. If we get any investments, if we get any supports in the middle, we are going to incorporate all of that, because the end goal, again, and I think, Raheem, you mentioned that very brilliantly, is it's at the end of the day, it's about the impact. And maybe it's not the financials, it's not the time, it's the intangible feeling of doing something right. So I'm really happy that you touched on that.
Yeah, because again, like I said, like knowing a lot of these folks, skilled folks in the community, and me wanting to share, like I'm gonna share something with you guys. A couple of people know this, but I don't think I shared this with you. Recently, I talked to one of my mother's good friends. She contacted me. She found me actually, and she wanted to get in touch with my mother. She hasn't seen my mother in so long, but she didn't know that sadly my mother's passed. My mother's passed for about 26 years now. So I was telling a couple of the guys in the community this and whatever, because I was like really down on it, because she had sent me a picture. She sent me two pictures. One when I was a little baby, I had a little bit curly for a little
I think
baby.
you tweeted that one out, yeah.
Yeah, and then one of my mom, and it really hit home to me. And especially around this time, especially around the holidays. And then last month was her birthday, November 21st. So around November and December is really tough for me. Around November and December is really tough for me, because I don't have my mother. I don't have my mother, and I still mourn her passing every single day. But around this time, it gets real depressing. And I opened up to people like Prioxis and Romero and everybody, because I just needed that one to talk to, like somebody to talk to, because I'm a guy that deals with depression. I deal with depression every day. And when I get into that mode where I feel closed in, like I immediately hit somebody up to try to like at least vent to, so I could feel better about myself. Again, like I said, the thing with my mother, when my mom's friend sent me those pictures, it really hit home to me, because I'm just looking at my mom. I'm like, I really miss this woman so much, because I didn't have that mother-son relationship with her. I'm not going to count when I was like a baby, because I don't know no better. I'm just goo gaga, crawling, still learning how to walk. you know, and to see like my friends, my IRL friends and my friends within this community having a relationship with their mothers. They still talk to their mothers every day. I do get a little upset because I don't have that, you know. But again, venting out my problems to people like, let's say people like Meryl Pryor and everybody, you know, they understand, you know, they give me words of encouragement. They're like, listen, bro, you're gonna be okay. Got you. I understand. And it really makes me feel better about myself. And it helps me get through the days, the nights. So I can be cool and I don't end up like just getting to a deep depression hole where I want to go hurt myself and do things like that. So because I'm really battling it getting cool. Like I'm really battling depression like a bug. And listen, I'm not ashamed to let y'all know this or whatever. This is me, you know. So it kind of shows my depression and stuff. I know it probably kind of shows in my streams where I'm raging. Where I'm raging, you know. So that's like kind of me letting out some of the, I guess you could say, frustration, the anger that I have built up inside me because I do consume a lot and I do consume a lot of stress and a lot of like negativity and to the point where it gets to the breaking point. Yeah, I just blow up.
Yeah,
I blow up. I'm not going to say I don't approach things right away. Whatever, because I do at times, but most of the time I just let it all sink in, until it gets to the point where I can't deal with it no more.
Yeah.
But now I've worked on it where again I just go ahead and just hit somebody up and let them know what the issue is. This is what I'm going through.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a couple of things that you've touched on. Firstly, it's very, very important to have a circle of protection around you. I mean, the names you've mentioned, that again goes to show the kind of individuals they are. I understand that it's a virtual community. We do not see each other personally. Maybe we've not ever met each other, but there is a brotherhood. There is a sense of ownership towards one another, and we would want nothing but best for the other, and would want to be there for each other when necessary. And secondly, I mean, for someone who again has his own troubles with mental health, I mean, it takes a big man to admit and acknowledge what's wrong, because first step to making any correction in life is to accept there is an issue. And for you to share what you've been through, again, it takes a lot of bravery. I mean, again, the conversation that we've had, the way you conduct yourself, I'm pretty sure in heaven, your mother must be really proud of who you are now. And I can say that with certainty, and just looking at the way you carry yourself, and for everyone, the kind of respect that you receive, I'm pretty sure any parent would be extremely proud of that. So again,
I ain't trying to shed a tear right now, man. Talk about this. No, just I really appreciate that. GameKheyl. Thank you.
No. I mean, if there's anything, I think we haven't done enough justice to the character that you are, and knowing the fact that you're now not only managing your own mental health in a very positive way, you're also helping out others with theirs. I mean, that takes a lot of mindfulness. That takes a lot of grit and determination. And more power to you, brother, for that. And best wishes from us here at GameKheyl for you and for all the endeavors that you have. Coming towards the business end of this interview, just a couple of quick things that we'll discuss. Firstly, for everyone in the community, I mean, you've mentioned some amazing names out there. Is there anyone else, or are there any individuals that you'd like to give a few shout outs? I mean, you've mentioned all the OGs, anyone that you're a fan of, anyone whose content you really liked, or anyone that you would want to put on notice once you're back competing in the ESFL?
Couple names coming to mind. Some of the young guns that's coming up in the virtual fight game. Young Zayaf, BlakeTyler, and SuaveJamie. You know, I know SuaveJamie when he was Mad Dog. Back when he was Mad Dog, he wasn't SuaveJamie, he was Mad Dog. So those three right there, those three young cats right there, man, they making the name for themselves. They kicking ass, taking names on a daily basis, and I got a lot of love for them young cats. You know, I know when I get back, when I really get back, I'm gonna hit those guys up. I actually was supposed to speaking of that, I actually was supposed to get a few in with Zayaf, whatever, but I said me being an adult, and I gotta go do adult things, always getting away with that. But I'll say within this week now, GameKheyl, since I'm on a little, unwanted vacation. My job kind of shut down for the week, so for the holidays, so I ain't got to work for the rest of the week up until the beginning of next month. So maybe this is the perfect time, to hit some of these fellas up, get a couple rounds and get my feet wet. So those three right there, GameKheyl, Blake, Suave, and Zayaf. Those names coming to mind. There's a couple of other OGs I want to mention that I got a lot of love for that can still kick anybody's ass when they make a return or whenever they want to pick up the sticks. Pre-United, Adveta X. Now, when you asked me earlier about rivals, I'm so upset that I forgot to mention him, mention Adveta, because when I tell you, brother, that man was the epitome of elbow knee spammer. He was the epitome of that. If there was a picture, I'm gonna use an old joke here. If there was a picture in the dictionary of knee elbow spam, his picture, Adveta's picture, his face will be the definition of that. Seriously, his bald headed peanut head will be the picture of knee elbow spammer. But all love to him though. All love to him though. And getting to know him is all love. It's all love and joke. Who else? I already mentioned Marshall. Again, what can I say? Man's been around the game since he came out the womb, man. Since he was born, just pumping out content, doing this grinding. 300,000 subs, just doing his thing, and he's one of my good rivals. We get in there, here and there. We recently, a couple weeks ago, had a couple wars back and forth, kicking each other's ass, and he's really made me better. He's really pushed me to get better. And then everybody else out there, I got nothing but love with y'all, for y'all, and just keep doing y'all thing. Keep pushing, keep grinding. Do you, kick ass, all that, And rest assured, he's going to be making a comeback pretty soon. The itch is coming. I'm getting that motivation. Talking to you right now is giving me that motivation, sir. And I really thank you for that.
For everyone out there who is a competitor or takes this game seriously, well, I think you need to pick up your controller and get to the grind, because the HeemTheDream is probably making a comeback and he's going to destroy all of you, or at least most of you. But let's see how that goes.
I'm sure enough, sir. Once I really get back into it and I start streaming, I'm gonna get those trolls that gonna want to snipe me from here and there, because I used to get that a lot. To get that a lot when I was consistent, man. It did bother me. Because I'm like, damn, like just like you mentioned earlier, these are some of the people I can't freaking beat. Like, I know I can beat them, but I just can't get it. I just can't get over that hump. The name you mentioned, Rayhan. Rayhan was a chief offender of that. When the game first came out, he was a chief offender. He used to be my boogeyman. I'll give him respect for that. He was my boogeyman, even though he was a cheating little prick, ex-player. But this nothing but love for him, because he was the boogeyman. Whenever I stream. But I did catch him on stream a couple of times. I did. You may got me 9 times out of 10, or 9 times out of like, I say 13, but I did get you those 4 times. I did. The record will show it. It will show it. But nothing but love, man. Nothing but love and respect, though. At the end of the day, even though it annoys me, I get over it. You got it. I'll improve, and then I'll rest assured I'll get over that hump. Anybody that wanna get at me and snipe me and do all that whenever I start streaming again. So I just gotta learn not to let it annoy me and just get ready to knuckle up.
All right. I mean, some really good names out there that you've mentioned. Again, I mean, a few names that you mentioned just sent me back to UFC 2 or UFC 3. I mean, some really OG names out there. So, again, much respect to everyone who puts in the grind, who does the work. He's going to beat you, but he's going to respect you, but he's going to respect the shit out of you. I think that's how it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So, I mean, again, Heem, it was an absolute pleasure to have you here. We've touched on subjects that a lot of people are not really comfortable or are unafraid to show. So I have much respect for you for doing that. Also, the fact that you want to get back into content creation and to the competitive scene, considering the mindset that you're coming in, I think that's an excellent approach. Hopefully, and from GameKheyl, that's all we have is best wishes for you and what you do. For everyone watching, all the links that we have of HeemTheDream would be in the description. Give him some love. He streams on Twitch. He is also active on Twitter. Give him a follow. For everyone who is here for the first time and seeing GameKheyl for the first time, we put out content like this every week. We try to be more consistent with what we do. We're trying to give coverage to combat community, for the FCG community, and also any other game community that is out there that wants to put its name out there. GameKheyl is always going to be a platform for you to have those discussions. The long-term plan is to have live esports in on this channel, have more variety content. That's what we're focusing on. But right now, we're going to stick to the interviews, and we're going to make sure that everyone gets the right recognition. Heem, again, it was a pleasure. Any final thoughts?
Pleasure is all mine. Again, GameKheyl, I appreciate you having me on your platform. It's been an honor. Hopefully we can do this again someday. And to everybody in the community, again, for the last time, keep kicking ass, keep doing your thing, keep grinding, everybody. If it's a big creator, content creator, small content creator, somebody that's new to the game, somebody that's OG to the game, keep doing y'all, keep kicking ass, and rest assured, good things are going to come. Good things are going to come. And again, thank you, GameKheyl, for having me on your platform. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a long time coming. I know a lot of things been getting in the way. You know, most of the time me oversleeping. but again, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you having me on.
No, I mean, I would blame the time zones for that, frankly. I mean, it's morning for you, it's the night of the Christmas here for us. So
yeah, I was surprised when you mentioned that to me. I fell on the floor like, oh my goodness. So that means, hold on.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock at night right now. Where you at? It's 12 in the afternoon. So I gotta be up 3. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. but again, we finally got this. We finally got this out, and again, this has been much appreciated, much fun talking to you, man. Really do. Hopefully, we can do this again sometime soon.
Absolutely. I mean, we would love to have you again in any other capacity, whatever it is, another interview, maybe any kind of content. We're open to ideas for everyone watching. If you have any suggestions as to how we can go about making our content in the future, we are open to suggestions. Let me tell you that. So
maybe you should have a simultaneous interview, like have some like myself and Mero and Pride, Marshall,
that would be awesome.
At the same time. Maybe we should have a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, that is something that is in the works. I'm trying to get a few people on board. Maybe we can put something together. Maybe after this interview, let's get into those details. I mean, that would be fun if that happens. Again, we are looking for ways to diversify our content. Maybe having more variety games, whatever it can be. As of now, we are still trying to carry forward with the interviews, maybe get to a point where we can monetize what we're doing, and hopefully once that monetization comes through, add more value to what we do. So what we are going to do till then is going to continue with the grind, continue putting on as better content as physically possible. But until then, your support would be paramount. We've gotten so far with the support that you've provided, and we're going to continue with that. So again, thank you all so much for that. For now, that would be all. It was again an absolute privilege to have you here today, Raheem. For everyone watching, extremely thankful for your time. If you like what we do, like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Let us know in the comments if there's anything we can improve. And again, for the last time, this is Naveed and Heem signing out, and hope to see you guys again real soon with another guest. Peace.
Peace out.